Hello, 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 everyone. This is Tanika Steens. I am the Mindful Coach, and this is Mindful Intentions Nurture and Drive Your Business. Today, my guest is John C. Morley. He is a co-host for HNP New Jersey series entrepreneur, serial entrepreneur, engineer marketing specialist, national talk show host, who also has a daily motivational video blog on John C. Morley Serial Entrepreneur Facebook page. So go check him out. While John was still in college in his junior year, he started JCM and Son Associates, a tech company designed to support people with their technology and get things done right the first time. His inspiration came from knowing that a large company chain was attempting to rip his father off to simply change a battery in a computer at a family business. John knew that the most it should have cost about $75 plus tax with the battery. We've all been there before, so we're going to get some good information today. Thus, John started with two basic services on site support for just $10 per visit. Whether it took 5 minutes or 4 hours, it was only $10. You can barely buy a cup of coffee for $10 these days. If he did phone consulting, that would be $5 for 5 minutes or an hour, and it started to catch on. When he graduated, many of his friends asked if he was painting houses anytime soon because JCM and Son sounded like a paint company. Within a few months, he had come up with a new name, the JMOR Connection Inc., and filled all the appropriate paperwork with the state for the change, or actually filed all the appropriate paperwork. So I'm going to ask when we get John on here if it's J Moore or JMOR. After college, he hired one of the largest and believed to be one of the most respected names in the marketing advertising industry, the JMOR Connection Inc., he grew and became a major name, servicing several international banks and internal operations on Wall Street. John knew that this marketing company was not worth their weight and had to get rid of them, but didn't know how to market. Then he purchased his first inline full print production press and started a small print shop. John knew that what he wanted to build and build it into more than a copy center. Thus, the Neighborhood Publications was born, a full print production, marketing, digital media, including video production, public relations, events, and print on anything technology. He and his team continue to do what they did over 10 years ago, which is to take care of every client one by one and deliver value that will captivate them in their respect. In 2020, John became known as the father of LinkedIn, with now close to 5,000 connections because of his unique way of getting people curious in him and what he does. Thus, the concept of a LinkedIn banner profile was born that easily aroused curiosity in other people to want to learn more. John is the host of national talk show, the J Moore Tech Talk Show, and a local TV show in Princeton, New Jersey. John believes that if you love what you do, one will never work a day in their lives. And I believe that as well. You've got to love what you do. John, thank you so much for taking time out this morning. We're both on the same time zone, so that's pretty cool. So welcome, welcome, welcome. And now I know I went through your bio, but nobody can talk about themselves and tell their story better. So tell us who you are, what you do, and why you do it.
You did a great job doing it there, but I'll try to fill in some of the blanks. Thank you so much. It is a pleasure, a privilege, and an honor to be with you on the same time zone, but just with you here. Well, my life has had a lot of challenges, but challenges are a good thing, right? I'm here for one reason in life. People say, "Why are you here?" Well, I'm here for one reason: to become a better version of myself and to help everyone else become better versions of themselves. That's the only reason I'm here.
Oh my goodness. You know what? See, this further lets me know why I do what I do, because every day I get up and I go, this isn't about me. I'm here to help somebody else be better at being them. And I can see things in other people that they normally probably don't see in themselves because we don't usually see ourselves, right? And so my job is to help bring that out. And you just reiterated what our purpose is in this life is to be who we are, go through what we go through so that we can help others be better. So God bless you in doing what you were called to do.
Thank you. God bless you as well. I felt chills when I hear that. It's like, because I don't say it every day, but when I say that in a show, it's like it gives me a chill. And not to get into a whole religious thing, but I want to tell you that
I don't care. We can. Okay. This is my show. Okay. And if you didn't know, I'm a reverend, so we can talk about this all day.
Okay. Well, today being on the show today is Ash Wednesday, so I read this morning at
Yes.
6:45 in the morning. But I had a client at Wall Street that was an emergency last night, so I didn't get home to 2 o'clock, and I said, God, please. I know I'm not getting a lot of sleep, but can you please just figure out some way to make me safe, get to bed, and get up, have breakfast, and get to church and read and get back home so I'm ready for these interviews.
Yes.
And he did that, and I've been grateful. And the one thing I want to lead on is last night. I believe a lot in spiritualism. So last night I came home. It's 1:30 in the morning. But what I should tell you before I did all that is I'm actually one of the leads in a play for a charity this week. So this entire week for 3 months we've been doing practice. Well, this whole week is tech week when we're actually doing the sight, the sounds, the light, the costumes. And so that's every day this week from 6 to 10. So that happened last night, but I needed to leave to go to a Wall Street data center in New Jersey. And I literally told my cast, I was like, I have to leave at like quarter, so I have to leave. They're like, okay, no problem. So I was leaving, and they were like, well, we have notes for you. I'm like, well, just send them to me. Like, I have to be somewhere like right now. And, you're tired doing things, but I'm like, it's only a few more days. When I got home, it was about 1:30 in the morning. Now, nothing really strange about that. And another thing that happened before I left to go home at the center, I really didn't want to buy anything, right? And I had some water there. They didn't have any hot chocolate, which they normally do, but there was a bag sitting on the counter. And I said, well, it's probably somebody's bag. I did some work. I came back. The bag is still there. There's nobody else around. I said, I guess the bag is for me. It was a bag of spicy, like chips and things. I said, well, this is great. This will be like a little bit of dinner tonight. So that was a gift. And when I got home, it was about, like I said, 1:30. I'm pulling into my driveway and I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 deer.
I knew you were going to say that. Oh my goodness.
And I didn't know what to do. I'm not trying to harm them. So this one deer is watching me, and I'm just looking at it. And so like, okay, I'm gonna back up. I'll back up, no problem. And he's still watching me. I'm like, I gotta get home. I gotta go to bed. Like, I gotta get up. I gotta read tomorrow morning. I have Ash Wednesday. Like, I can't do this. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, so he's there, and I said, okay, I'm gonna park 2 neighbors' houses down from my condo, and I park there. Now there's a fence. I'm like, really? There's a fence? So now I'm going through the bushes trying to climb the fence because they put a big fence in, trying to climb around the bushes, getting around the smaller fence, get in the garage. I'm looking for deer. There's no deer. I walk away. Okay, there's no deer. I'm watching. I'm crossing from one garage to the other, and I'm seeing. I'm like, there's no deer. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna quick run across. All of a sudden, you saw they just like take off, and it was like I didn't know if the deer was gonna. I didn't know what was gonna happen. So I went when I came home, and I do my motivational podcast, which is inspirations for your life. And I always do it, no matter what time it is. If it's before I go to bed, I have to do at least my 15-minute live. And so I went online and I looked up what's the meaning of a deer? Like, what is the meaning of it? And my whole show this week is about how and why we should give gratitude. So oh, this is perfect. So I'm going to be grateful for all these things in my life. And I started off by telling people, I take my ring off every night and I put it on every morning. And when I do that, that's when I do my gratitude ritual. I'm encouraging everyone else to do the same thing. And so I said, okay, I'm going to be grateful for that little $2, $3 bag that I didn't have to buy. It was just sitting there waiting for me. So I had it in the water. So I'm grateful for that. And grateful being getting home safe and all that. And I'm like, I'm grateful for you showing me these deer because I went online. And so if the deer basically, and you're driving and the deer's coming towards you, which was not the case, he was staying where he was. Because if they're coming towards you, that's not good. So I'm driving and he's just sort of staying there. He's like going aside, he's like just staying there. I'm like, okay, I'm going to back up. And I look online, and when I saw this, a deer is a good omen.
Yes.
A deer means that spirit is protecting you. And when I was doing the show got into 25 minutes. I was only going to do a quick 15-minute show. I'm talking about the deer the whole time and how these are amazing creatures and how this deer just kept staring at me and how my vibration attracted these deer, compassion and all that. And then they still got scared at the end, but they were watching me and they were just staying there. And I don't know about you, I haven't seen deer in a while. I mean, you've seen them once in a while, and then they said the deer's probably not going to come back for several months, but the deer just stayed there. I mean, I thought it was a couple minutes. It had to be 10 minutes. I was just literally staying there. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do? And so I gave gratitude for spirit showing me this deer because I believe that somehow that deer meant that I'm on the right path. Now, this might sound very strange.
Nope.
I'm president of my Chamber of Commerce, a 501c3, a charity organization, but I'm having some challenges getting people all come on board, with COVID and things. So I was in the store and I said, I'm going to give gratitude for something else. There was a man in the store that I know, the owner, and I went there. I said, we're doing a float. You're a member. Would you like to come on the float? It's going to be $175. Yeah, I'll do it. Writes me a check. I'm like, okay. So now I'm walking out of this deli and I meet this other guy and he says, he's a rabbi. I said, oh, hi, rabbi. He said, no, I'm not a rabbi. He says, I'm talking to a rabbi on the phone. And I said, okay. I said, well, I belong to MBS. I'm Roman Catholic. He says, yeah, I belong there too. I said, oh, okay. I said, I've never seen you. He said, I did see you. You were there a couple of times. I said, I read. That's where I saw you. You were reading on the stage. I said, yeah. And we don't have a church right now. Our church got burnt down several years ago because a crazy person actually burned it down. So we're getting our new church in about 18 months. So we're grateful that in Easter time, we're going to break ground after that. So long story short, this all happened. And I'm talking to this gentleman. I'm telling him what I'm doing. He says, John, what you should do? I said, no, what should I do? I said, I put flyers up here all the time, but I don't get a lot of traffic from this store. He says, don't do that. He says, put a table up here. I said, put a table up. Yeah, give out vodka. So I said, we can't do that. So I said, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a table up and I'm going to give people free coffee. Spend 5 minutes to talk to me about the chamber, and I'll give you a ticket for a free cup of coffee or tea. And so I had gone to that store a lot of times, but that idea never resonated with me to set up a table, and yet that they would be willing to let me do that. So I'm grateful for somehow, somewhere, don't know how, spirit putting that thought in my head because that wasn't in my head before.
Yeah. He will give you the desires of your heart.
Yes. And the next moment I'm there, I forget her name, but she is the daughter, I believe, of LeBron or one of the basketball players. She came in. I said, you know what that was? I said, no. He says, that's LeBron. That's her daughter. He says, his daughter. I said, oh. You got to be here on Thursday morning between 7 o'clock and 9 o'clock. Don't come after 9 because that's when the workers come. You come between 7 and 9. That's when the owners come, and they come for their coffee. You think they talk to me? Oh, yeah, they talk to you. You'll meet the whole darn town. I said, I've been here for years, and nobody talks to me. Yeah, the town's funny. I said, my driveway could be on fire, and nobody would help me. Yeah, that's just how they are. And so I'm giving gratitude for that. And so then I go to bed. And I get up in the morning and don't know where the energy comes from. My alarm is going off. I'm getting out of bed, doing a few things, and not really feeling like taking a shower. I said, okay, that's all right. I'll just get myself ready. I'll get dressed. I'll go to church and come back, and then I'll take a shower later. And it was just interesting. So the whole thing is I felt when those deer showed up that somehow now, after so many years, I'm on a path. Don't know which path it is, but I feel like I'm on my destined path. About a day or two ago, I had told this other gentleman who came to one of our events that I've been trying to get into the Meadowlands for years to do a big event for our chamber. So this guy gives me a connection to a kid that sits their animals. Reach out to him. He doesn't get back to me. He's a kid. I tell him, he said, yeah, he says, we don't use him for sitting for the animals anymore, so I can't help you. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Then I went to the event a couple days ago and I told him about this problem, this other guy. He's, oh, John, he says, my friend who's in such and such fraternity is actually the vice president of operations over there. I said, oh. I said, well, you think he would call me? He says, I'll do better than that. He says, I'll just give you his contact information, his phone, his address, his cell phone. So I called the guy up on the phone. I said, his name is Brian. I said, hi, Brian. You don't know me. I said, I'm John Morley. I said, I was told to give you a call. By who? I said, well, I know such and such. You know him? I said, yeah. And I'm having a little challenge getting your venue to cooperate with me to have an event. Really? You know, so I said, yeah, I know him. I said, he actually gave me, I'll tell you what, could you give me a call back in 5 minutes? Because I'm actually just going to an important meeting on the other side of the street. And, just give me a call. Let me give you a cell phone. I said, to be honest with you, I already have it. I said, but I didn't want to call you on your cell phone until I called you in your office. He said, you're smart. So I gave the number. I call him back. He said, talks to me. And he said, yeah, we can make this work. So we're planning to build one of the largest chamber events in New Jersey that's going to have like 12 or 15 chambers attending. So we're just starting the pieces for this. And this is something I've been working on for a while. And it just felt like I was in alignment. And I don't know how or I don't know why, but when you are at a certain vibration, you attract things. I know this gets a little off topic, but I love abundance.
No,
So abundance, people say to me, John, I don't have any money. I said, okay. And they still don't have any money. And I said, well, can I say something to offer some advice? Is, oh, sure. I said, well, the way you're approaching this and saying you don't have any money, the universe is giving you more of what you're asking for. What do you mean? I'm not asking for no money. Well, you are, because you're telling the universe I don't have any money. Well, yeah, I have all these bills and I'm almost going to court and I got a court summons. I said, yes, and the universe is going to send you more of that. And you're right. And I just got another summons. I said, you're going to get more of what you're asking for. When you go to a restaurant and you ask for a filet mignon, do you get a turkey sandwich? No, you get a filet mignon. Okay. So what you ask for, even if it doesn't come out of your lips, is what the universe is going to give you. See, the universe doesn't talk in words. The universe talks in symbols and vibrations. I know you think I'm smoking crack or something here, but I don't. And it's like, well, what do you mean? I said, well, you ever heard this this phrase, we become what we think about most often, Earl Nightingale? Who's he? Well, he was a very wise man. And I said, if you change your words, you'll change your thought. If you change your thought, change your mind, you will in fact improve the quality of your life. And that is what you want now today, isn't it? He's looking at me. He said, so all you need to do is watch your language. And if you catch yourself saying, I can't do that, just say, cancel. I said, you're getting where you are right now because of the thoughts you had yesterday. If you want to get somewhere different, change your thoughts today, and tomorrow you'll be somewhere different or next week. And he's looking at me and he's saying, so people do this. So abundance, everybody has a right to have abundance in their life. It's a God-given right. God wants everyone to have abundance, but they don't go after it. See, God's not going to just deliver abundance into your life. Hey, God, I want abundance. It doesn't work like that. I can ask him for it, but you got to do the things to get it. He's not going to go build your mansion for you. He's not going to go get your car for you. He is going to give you the connection. Like this event, he's not going to build the event for me, but he connecting with people. He's also not going to get people to my event, but he gave me an idea to take some action, take inspired action. And then it's like you're working on a level of vibration. Absolutely. So you've ever heard this when you're around certain people, some people are negative, right? Unfortunately, it happens, not to judge them, but it happens. And everyone's been negative in their life. It happens, right? That's normal. But what's not normal is to have it as a pattern of life. So when someone's negative around me, what I say is, hey, why don't we change that beat a little bit? Why don't we, what's going on that's good today? Oh, it's a lousy day. You don't know what happened. My wife, my this, my that, my kid. Okay, well, what's going on good today? Nothing. Okay. Well, what would be going on good if it was nothing? Nothing's ever going on good. I say, we've been friends for a long time, um, but you're starting to resonate a negative energy. Oh, you're one of those crackpots. Well, I'm feeling a drain of my energy around you right now. So either you need to change your energy, or I need to kind of move on. Usually, I move on, but that's the point. People get drained because others have negative energy and they leech onto you and they pull you down. So abundance comes to those that have a vision, that have a heart. You see, you don't create abundance through your mouth. You don't. You create abundance through your chakras, but really you create abundance through your heart. So what I've been doing this whole week, and every week I do a series. This week is how and why you should be grateful for what you have in life. And so people say, well, I'm thankful. I'm thankful for everything. I always say thank you. I said, well, you're a very polite person. What are you trying to tell me? Well, you're very thankful. Yeah, I'm thanking people all the time. I say please. I say thank you. I said you're being polite. Yeah. So what's the difference? Try being grateful. It's the same thing. I was like, no, it's not. When you're grateful, you feel it in your heart right here. Say this with me. I am grateful for my life.
Yes.
How does that feel? Really good. Awesome. I am grateful for being here today. I'm grateful to share this information. Can you do that a few times a day? Can you do a ritual like when you take your ring off or you take your clothes off at night? You're grateful for everything. Oh, that's going to take 5-10 minutes. I said, yeah, it's going to take some time. Well, what am I grateful for? I got a great exercise for you. You don't know what you're grateful for? Helping alive. Yeah, but that's nothing. No. You're given a gift to have another day in this life. And they look at me. When I get up in the morning, the first thing I do is I say, I'm grateful to be alive. I'm grateful that I got up. I'm grateful that I am able to walk. I'm grateful that I had a good shower. But let's take a look at the reverse side of that. How many people do you know that get up and they stub their toe and they use all those beautiful 4-letter words, right? Mm-hmm. And then what happens when they stub their toe? They go into the shower. They burn their arm or their back and they say some more 4-letter words. And so then after they do that, they have some breakfast. They go to have breakfast, they pour the cereal, but because they're on this negative track, they pour it and they spill the milk all over the counter and it goes all over their suit. They say some more 4-letter words. So now they're late. Now they got to go change. They get in the car and there's traffic. More words. They're on their crusade. They're getting to the office. Big clients meeting with them in the morning. They're late. The client now believes this is a representation of how they act every day, and they decide not to give them the account. The boss is furious because he thought it was a shoe in the bag. If he would have been on time, it would have been, but because he demonstrated that he can't maintain his own life, how could he maintain somebody else's account? And so now your day is really going bad. You come home, more traffic, you come home and you don't have milk or you don't have something to make the dinner you want. And now you got a headache. Now you're going to sleep. And now you're having a terrible sleep. So why did I explain that? You do what most people do every day that have negative energy. They spiral down. So let's take an analogy. Have you ever gone on a trip before and you ever gone over a bump in the road? Right? You hear that little bump? What, that little bump? That bump that you went over a couple of years ago. Are you still talking about that bump you went over 3 years ago? That little bump in the road? No, you're not talking about that bump anymore. So when you stub your toe or you drop something or something happens or you break a glass or what happens, first thing you got to say is, okay, I broke a glass. I stubbed my toe. The rest of my day is going to be a great day. This pain's going away already. I don't even feel it already. And mind over matter helps. And now you start to build, right? So abundance happens not when you turn on a switch, but when you become infested in a positive way with this energy, with this vibration. So by you saying something like, I am grateful. I am grateful for my parents. I'm grateful for my life. I'm grateful for my car. I'm grateful for my home. I'm grateful for my health. Now, you might say, oh, John, I'm not grateful for my weight. So, true story. I was about 240 pounds. Now I'm just about 200, and my goal was 165. I started doing something I never did a few months ago. I started being grateful for the weight that I have. I'm grateful for the weight that I have and that I'm losing weight every day. And suddenly, every week I started losing a pound. I mean, I changed some things, but it became easy. So when you're grateful for things, ladies and gentlemen, more things in your life will show up that you could be grateful for. Right? If
John,
you
you are, see, what you didn't understand today is you were coming on here to talk about what we read over in your bio. And what did I say to you? Just tell your story.
Yeah, I know I didn't go that way. Sorry.
And no, because it's not up to you to go that way. It's not. It never is. Everybody comes on this show thinking one thing. And I always say, wherever the spirit takes it is where we're supposed to go. And I know that. I don't run this show. I don't operate this show. I just turn on the camera and I'm like, I read the bio. And then I say, tell us who you are, what you do, and why you do it.
And
You
I
think,
went way off that track.
but no, but here's the thing. You think what you do is run this fabulous company and what you got started and how you overcame. But what you do is bring these words of encouragement and motivation to enlighten others to help them understand what living in abundance is. And this is why I do this show, because everybody thinks that when someone is in a certain position, it's because they have some kind of magic sauce and they just got there overnight. Well, no, we don't get anywhere overnight, right?
No.
But what keeps us grounded and what keeps us there is those things that we go through and that we encounter, that we remember where we came from and what we've been through and how that has impacted us so that we can impact others. And that is why you're here today. And I want to share with you real quick.
Sure.
I have to share because I take notes when I have guests. I take notes. I do. And so
I'm in trouble now.
you spoke about the deer. And immediately when you spoke about the deer, you said it was 7 deer.
Yes.
Okay, 7 fruits of the spirit is what came to me when you spoke about these deer, because you said you were saying, I'm going to be grateful. God, just get me through this day, get me back home, help me to be safe, give me the energy that I need to be able to sleep. And you arrive home and you're surrounded by these deer, and there's 7 of them, letting you know that He is with you, that spirit is among you.
I got a chill in my spine when you said that. I got a
Okay,
chill down my
this
spine.
is what I want to share with you, because the love is surrounding you. You have joy. There's a peace that you had. He's giving you patience because it's 1:30 in the morning and you're tired, but you've got patience. You've been kind to others. You've got goodness, and you have faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Because you could have got out of the car and shooed those deer away, but you went and, now listen, you went and you parked down by the neighbors. You climbed a fence. You went through some bushes. If that's not patience and self-control, I'm telling you what. And then you're gentle because you were gentle with these deer, knowing that there's a reason why they're here. I don't know why, but they're here for some reason. And out of all of that, you found gratefulness in that. And you said abundance comes from the heart. And
Yes.
we know that the issues of our heart flow out of our mouth, because out of the mouth, the heart speaks, right?
Yes.
And you said
Yes.
we don't speak it with words. And my husband preached a sermon not long ago, because we always talk about the mind. And we had this big debate about what the mind is. And I said, everybody thinks the mind is in their head, but the mind is the heart. And my husband put this together so beautifully, because he said, you have your mind and then you have your heart. And both of those things have to be in agreement.
Mhm.
And so the word says, when 2 or more are gathered in my name,
Oh my
I'll
gosh.
be there. Right?
Yes.
But if
Yes. Yes.
your mind is in one spot and your heart is in another spot, those issues can't come together on one accord. But when they are in alignment, they are together. And then those issues flow out freely. And I am someone that feeds off of energy. I just do.
I
I
can
walk
tell. I
into a
can tell you.
room, and and I can just immediately feel the energy, and I'm just like, oh, I can't do this because I can't, because I will take on that energy, and it's 10 times worse. And so it's either, if it's a good energy, then it's gonna be great. If it's a bad energy, then it's not gonna be good. And so I try to stay in that realm of, let's flow in the positive. But I know when you said there are energy suckers, well, I believe that they are vampires. And I am a vampire slayer, a demon slayer. I slay these things. I'm like, no, we're not having that. We're not doing it. And I know that sometimes I can get on people's nerves, but today just reiterates that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So the fact that you
Absolutely.
are on this path that you are on right now, telling the story, because what did I say? Just tell your story. You said, no, let's have a conversation. You ask me questions. There's no questions. There's nothing that I need to ask, because this isn't about me asking you questions. This is about what the Holy Spirit is trying to get across to both of us. And in doing so, other people are being able to gain from this. And so I'm grateful for life. I'm grateful for being here. I'm grateful to share. I'm grateful to be alive. And
Yep.
today is a gift, and I just want to be present in it. And so, thank you for telling that story, telling and sharing your story, because again, that's why I do this. Because we can talk about our business all day long and how we got it started and what went into it. But when we understand that who we are is not that business, is not what happened to dad, is not these crazy people that burnt down the church, but the goodness that's resonated inside of us to be able to see all of that and still go on and get up in the morning and share. That's what it's all about. Go ahead.
Before I was going home, one thing I wanted to do, and I used, I wanted to get a little more support than just my regular prayer. I know you can pray anywhere. I called the prayer line. I called my, I said, look, I said, how are you, Mary? Nice to talk to you this morning. Look, I'm driving home. Just need you to pray with me on this, 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 and this. And I gave her the things, and she's like, okay, well, we'll take into prayer. And she did. And she prayed. And in the prayer, it was very interesting what she said. She says, she says, and I pray for you that you're going to give a speech, a presentation, that your words, I'm like, I don't know how to say this, your words are going to reach somebody. Like, I don't think so. She's like, no, your words are going to reach somebody. And I also pray, I'm also going to play this week for charity. She says, I pray, I don't know if this happened yet, but she says, I pray that there's going to be a scout in that audience. Now, you may not be an actor, but I pray that there's a scout in that audience that's coming to find you for your voice. Now, I do professional voiceover. So that's later, but it just the first part of that came. So I just thought it was interesting that she's like, you're going to be on some kind of show, or I don't know. She says, you're going to give your story to some people, and it's going to resonate with a lot of people. I said, I don't know what kind of story I have. So I just thought that was interesting. But I want to say about the heart. So there's a very interesting thing about the heart. The heart's pretty amazing. There was a very bad situation that happened many, many years ago. And it was this girl. And unfortunately, there was somebody that was going after her in a bad way. And so an older person. And so what happened when they went after this person, unfortunately, the girl didn't make it, unfortunately. But here's the silver lining. About 6 months later, give or take, that heart wound up in an owner donor. Okay. The girl who got the heart was a couple years older than her. She needed the heart or she was going to die. They put the heart, this gives me chills, into this new girl's body. Remember, the other girl had died. She couldn't open her mouth. She couldn't say anything about who captured her, who did anything. And nobody could find this man who had accosted her, abused her, whatever it was, right? Nobody could find her, right? There was no way. Nobody saw her. It was all like it was done. There was no way. God made a way.
Always.
Here's what happened. It wasn't because of anybody that saw anything. About, I don't know, a couple months after she got the heart, she started having very bad dreams. The dreams of somebody was following her and about to attack her. These dreams got very scary. So our mother had brought her to a psychologist to analyze the dreams and whatnot. And the psychologist recognized that something else is going on here. It's nothing wrong with her, but there's something trying to come out. And the parents like, no, no, she's deranged. No, 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 no. There's something here. Would you be okay if we bring the police in? The police? Well, no, no. I just want to bring them in to see some of your drawings. Would that be okay? Okay. So the police come in, and the person she had been talking about, she gave a description of. And within, I'm going to tell you, a couple days, they arrested that person who actually murdered that girl. Now, once that happened, guess what happened? Those dreams went away. So, what I'm trying to show you is that your life, your likes, your things, your heart stores a lot. Okay. And the funny story is there was another man that basically had a heart attack, and this other man, a few years younger than him, that needed a boy that needed the heart. They put the heart in, and he's waking up. And he says, "How's it?" He says, "I know I have a craving for Kentucky Fried Chicken."
Oh my God.
And he's like, "But you don't even like Kentucky Fried Chicken." "I know, but I just want some. Can I have some?" "Yeah, sure. We'll go get you." So the lady who was there, they were thanking the donor and whatnot. She says, "Hey, they're okay." She's like, "Yeah, my son's fine, but he just now has a craving for Kentucky Fried Chicken, and he didn't like that before." She's like, "Oh my gosh." She says, "My son, he would just eat that morning, day, and night. We wished he thought he was going to turn into a Kentucky Fried Chicken." And that memory all went into the heart.
Mm-hmm.
So when you want to manifest something, we always say visualize, but you have to visualize it with the heart. Now, people are like, "What are you talking about?" So you visualize what you want, you can close your eyes and all that, but when you can put the heart into it, it's hard to explain. The heart creates the energy for the manifestation to happen. People think I'm crazy, but the heart is powerful.
Absolutely. My husband preached that in his sermon as well. So that's how you know that we don't make this stuff up. We don't make this stuff up. Like you said, there's things that are in you that you don't know what they are, how they got there, because we have no control over it. And when that Holy Spirit is within you, the power exudes. And it's a promise that when we believe, we'll receive that. And so we have to believe with our heart and our mind. And when they're in connection with each other, this is what happens. And so I'm blessed today. We're having Ash Wednesday service this evening. And I'm so excited. I've been so excited getting ready for this program because my husband and I have our new um, leaders in the church. We recently started leading this church back in November. And it was a surprise because we had just got ordained. And I'm sure there were more people that were
Oh, wow.
qualified than us, but we go into the church and we're welcomed with open arms. And then we were introduced. And the words that were said in this introduction was like, who are these people he's talking about? Because, wow, that's amazing that someone saw this light in us and wanted us to be the ones placed there. And I go, that's nobody but God. And everything that you have said, all the things that have unfolded, every place that you've been, is because these doors that God has opened for you that no man can close. And it doesn't matter how hard they are to open, He will open them. I have to keep saying this, but my husband preached this past Sunday about when they were praising and worshiping when Paul and Silas were in prison. And the gates came, the doors of the prison came open, and the prison guard was terrified, thinking that these people had escaped. And he's like, "No, it's okay. We're still here. They hadn't went anywhere." But because of that gratefulness and that gratitude that was being exuded, it opened the doors. And there was nothing to fear or to be worried of. They didn't have to run, they didn't have to try to escape. The doors are open. You walk right through, right? And so he said he'll make your enemies your footstool. And sometimes people will pour into you that you're like, okay, how did this happen? Because you met someone that knew someone and they were like, you know him? Of course, if you know him, you can get in. If you know him, there's no way you have to beg, borrow, or steal. You can come right in because you know him. And that is what the message is, I believe, for today. Because in this 40 days of leading up to Easter and the
Easter, yes.
resurrection of Christ, it's all about what we have to go through to get there, to get to this promise.
What did he say about what was it? It was on a very, very good. There was a church. I've got the name of the church, but they produce all these videos. Narrow is the way. It was a football team. You might know it, facing the Giants, and they produce a lot of other things. And he's like, and that is the way, and narrow is the way to his kingdom.
Yes.
Wide is the gate, but narrow is the
Narrow
way.
is the way. Yes. this
And
is
it was
beautiful.
very. So when you said the footstool, it resonated with something. So I had maybe 5 or 6 years ago. There's a gentleman, and I call him a gentleman, being respectful. He's a higher authority, elected official, and I'm taking over a chamber that I realize is really been, let's say, run by the devil, because I take over something and I'm getting associated with this, but I'm trying to fix it, you know? And they're like, oh, yeah, that's all bad. Like, and I didn't know this. I go there and ask to be head of it. And then I realize there's people cheating. There's people stealing. There's people getting scholarships. All the officers were getting scholarships, their kids. And so I went to complain about this to somebody. They reported me that I am stealing money from the community. And I was like, I'm trying to fix this. Well, that's not what they said. So the attorneys are playing all these things. I said, you know what you're doing? You're sending expensive toilet paper to me. That's all you're doing. I said, this doesn't mean anything what you're actually sending me. You're threatening me. I said, and you know you have no claim. And you know you're going to lose. You're just trying to scare me. And I said, I'll cooperate with your wishes, but just know you're playing with fire here. And so they kind of went away. And every time I do something, they were always like launching, oh, John, they're sending this, they're sending the police. The police and I are friends. Why are you here? What's the matter? I don't know. Somebody put a complaint about you. Doing what? I don't know. They said you were stealing. What am I stealing? I don't. It's so ridiculous. We're just checking it out because we got a call from the town office and we're checking it out. We don't think you did anything, to be honest with you. So we're just going to say we came here. There was nothing. So I was even helping a Boy Scout one time, raised money for him. And I got told that if I'm not off the premises, I'll be arrested. Now, they can't really do that. They can do that, but then when they go before court, they're going to be in trouble. I mean, they could do anything they want, but that's a false arrest. And they said, this is not your project. This is not the chamber's project, and you have no right being here. I said, well, do you know what I'm doing right now? I said, I'm trying to stop. I just stopped an explosion. Yeah, well, that's all good, John. This isn't your responsibility. If the kid digged, he would have hit a line. He might have went to the hospital. All right, John, this is not your project, all right? This is not your area, right? You're overstepping your bounds. So we're going to have an emergency meeting so we can discuss with the kid and his parents that you overstepped. So, but here's where we're going. So about a year or two before that nonsense happened, because this is kind of going on, about a year or two went by, and I wasn't doing anything. I was just kind of getting things going. I was being very quiet, but I'm not very quiet. I'm a bull in a china shop, as they've nicknamed me. Not in a bad way, but I knock the whole china shop down. I get new dirt, everything. I bring a new building in. I bring new people. I bring dishes. All from scratch. So that's an analogy. So I go down to this person. This person calls me up. I had worked on a local campaign for the community, and he calls me to his office, but I'm busy. So I said, next Thursday is when I'm free at this time. Oh, okay. That's the first time. I'm like, yeah, that's the first time I'm free. I go down to the office, see this person. Nice to see you. John, so how big's the chamber? How are they doing? Oh, we're doing okay. We got about 20 members. Yeah, you know what? You really should just toss the towel in on that. Just why don't you just bang that all up and forget about it? We don't need a chamber here. We're not a chamber town. So, all right. He said, oh, you know that program that you worked on, by the way, the local program? I'm like, yeah. He says, well, we're launching it and you're not, and nor is the chamber. I said, oh, well, can we work on it together? No. Okay, then. So, John, when are you going to give up? When are you going to realize, you're done with the chamber? And I said, well, give me a minute. So I sit back in my chair. He said, what are you doing? I said, I want to think of the exact month, day, hour, minute, and second that I'm going to give up. Can you give me just a few minutes? I sit back. I close my eyes for a few minutes. He said, what are you doing? I said, I don't want to lie to you. I want to give you the exact time I'm going to give up. So I open my eyes. He said, okay. So he's like, I said, okay, sir, I'm going to give up. He's getting all excited. I promised to give up. Now he's really getting excited. When a little baby boy, he's looking at me funny, or a little baby girl, it's like, tells their parents they don't want to walk anymore. It's going to be all kinds of. He's looking at me. He says, John, what the blank is that? I said, well, you have 2 boys and a girl, right? Yeah. So let me ask you a question. When did either of them ever tell you that they didn't want to walk anymore? He's looking up. He's like, never. I said, sir, I always knew that you were a very intelligent man since the moment I met you 5 years ago. He says, John, you're arrogant, and I'll get the blank out of my office. So I said to him with pleasure, I said, I didn't need your support. I just was hoping to have it. And so we've kind of stayed at odds. But why do I share this story with you? Everyone in life wants people to like them. It's a natural phenomenon. But if everybody likes you, I don't mean you should have people that hate you, but if there are not a few people that are discerning about you, of your ambitions or what you're doing, if they're just maybe just not all there, or they're not supporting you, if you don't have a few of those, that's a problem. Because it means you're not bringing your A game to the table.
Amen.
If you don't bring your A game to the table, first of all, someone else will, and you'll be done. You'll be replaced. So what I learned about 5-6 years ago, I wish I would have learned 100 years ago, I need to bring my A game to the table. And this taught me something that I learned over 10 years ago, and it's gratitude. I didn't know I was doing gratitude. I had my first job at a government agency, being a TSC, which is a very low level from the engineer that I am, a technical services coordinator. I was getting paid maybe a little less than peanuts. But I liked the job. It was okay. It was fun. And I wasn't getting treated very well. And this kept going on. And one day, I left this place to go somewhere else, another school. And I was on my way back. Now, normally it takes about, 20 minutes from one school to the other place. So I get back, and this lady, I call her the Gestapo, she comes up to me. She says, John, where were you? Well, I went from that school and I came back here. No, I know, but it's 23 and a half minutes. It usually takes you 20 minutes. Why is it an extra 3.5 minutes today? Well, I'm not really sure. Well, did you come right back? I said, well, let's see. I went to my car. I got in my car, or I pulled out of the parking lot of the school. I stopped at 2 or 3 traffic lights, maybe an extra 30 seconds. Okay. She says, well, that would only give you a minute. You're still over. That's 3.5 minutes. That would have made you a minute over, not 3.5. I said, I understand. So then I came down the main road. Oh, I remember it was 105 degrees that day. Oh, yeah, that's right. And I went into the local convenience store to go pick up a bottle of water for maybe a minute. Got back with my car. She says, aha, we got you. Got me where? You did something illegal. What'd I do? You went and bought water on company time. I said, you are 100% right. I said, you know what? I will never do that again. I apologize. She said, okay. Just want to make sure you know because you're stealing government money. Okay. I'm very sorry. It'll never happen again. So now I'm starting to think a little bit, and I am about maybe 2 weeks to being fully vested for a pension with them. I made a decision about a day or two before the end of the week of a long holiday for Thanksgiving. So it would have been like Wednesday. It was like the last day. And then the next day I came back from vacation, I would have invested. So I went into this lady's office. I'll call her Mary. That's not her name. I knocked on Mary's. Hey, Mary, good morning. How are you? Oh, I'm fine, John. Is there something you want? I said, yeah, could I see you for a minute? Sure. Did you make an appointment with me? No, but I do need to speak with you. Okay. I said, it'll only take a minute. Okay. No problem. Because I have a meeting. Only take a minute. I said, first of all, I want to say thank you. Thank you. You're welcome. For what? I said, I want to thank you. I want to say thank you for helping me become a better version of myself and helping you become a better version of yourself. She's like really lost. She doesn't know what to say. Because you've helped me to realize that it's time for John to move on because this is my very last day. She's like, oh, what happened? Do you want to talk about it? Well, I just think your culture of how you treat people and you micromanage minutes and seconds, and I come in early in the morning, but I can't use the time in the morning because I can't use that time because I can't clock until 8:30. It's just a little unfair. And the way people just kind of talk down to me when I help them, I just don't think that's right. Or I'm doing something for someone and the manager that's managing me doesn't even know what's going on. And I'm trying to help a teacher get new equipment and I'm being berated to not call her back when I'm trying to get her all new systems. She's like, oh, so today will be my last day. So I walk out of the office. Lady over on my right says, oh, John, I need you. I said, no problem. Come over to help her. It's like, she's like, we got a problem with this. I help her. I'm fixing it. She's like, are you going to fix it? I said, I'm working on it. She said, well, you better hurry up. She says, because 5 o'clock's coming. You have to leave by 5. I said, I got an hour. She's like, I know. She said, you always tell me it's going to be 5 minutes to take. I said, well, I don't know what's wrong yet. Let me take a look. Well, if you don't finish, you can come in. You can come in tomorrow, whatever one day. So I said, tomorrow's a holiday. Oh, yeah, that's right. She says, you come in next week. I said, I'm not coming Monday. Oh, you're not coming on that day? I said, no, I won't be on that day. How about Tuesday? Oh, you're what? Yeah, that's right. You're one of those people that comes in whenever he wants, basically. I said, well, I'm part-time. All right, well, you coming in on Tuesday? No. Wednesday? Well, when are you coming in? Like Friday? I'm not coming in. Well, when are you coming in? Today is my very last day. Oh, you know what? Come here. I'm so sorry. What do you mean? You're such a good guy, and I knew they were going to fire you. Fire me? They didn't fire me. I chose to leave. I quit. Oh. And she just kind of like turned her nose up and it's kind of like, and it was not like a welcome, like, good luck or anything. It was just like, it was a cold goodbye. And that was the first time I realized how important gratitude is. About 4 or 5 years after that, I started realizing something when I was dealing with a potential customer for Wall Street. And I said, I don't have this client yet, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to treat everyone really well. And I'm going to express gratitude, not because I have to, but because I want to. So on the bottom of my emails, you might have noticed if you got my emails, it says warmest regards with gratitude. So they're like, what the heck is all that nonsense? I said, well, I just want to thank you for your time. And some people, like even last night, I sent the report. She's like, oh, you're welcome. I said, it's always a pleasure just to come to speak with you. And the one lady, she's talked to one. She's like, is he mocking? I said, no, I'm not mocking anybody. She's like, oh, why are you grateful? I said, just grateful to talk to you. It's just nice to work with you. So now they start getting, it's like, I said, thank you. I said, what do we have this week? She's like, oh, she's like, well, we have this and we have that. I said, well, thank you so much. She said, no, thank you. So it's contagious. And just by putting in a little call tag at the bottom of your email can change people's reactions to how they're going to respond to you. And I always say, if you're one of these people that flies off the handle, not to judge, but if you do fly off the handle, before you do anything, close your eyes, take a deep breath, let it out. Now, go do what you were going to do. You see, if you say something because of the spur of the moment, you can't take it back. And if you can't take it back, all those years of reputation building could be destroyed. Like that. And so I make it a policy that I put warmest regards on my personal stuff, my corporate stuff. Any letter I sign warmest regards with gratitude. I had an issue, it was a complaint with somebody, and I put on the very bottom, warmest regards. Why the heck are you signing gratitude with a complaint? I said, I'm just grateful to be able to express my thoughts to you. And they don't get it. I remember there was this one landlord, and I'm never nasty to anybody, as you could probably tell. I was doing the person wasn't being very nice to me, so I said, you know what, we're gonna make a show about this. So I did a TikTok and I did a video. I said, so everyone, we want to talk about the importance of being humble today. And I said, whether you're a business owner, a serial entrepreneur, whether you're a multi-billion-dollar real estate developer, okay, or multi-chain store owner, or investor, or you're a janitor, supplier, or anything, it's important to be humble. You see, a lot of people think because they have a few extra dollars, they can put you in your place. Now, I'm not saying people can't be put in their place, but it shouldn't be predicated on how much money you have or you don't have. I walk into the building the next day. They say, is there a problem? No problem at all, sir. Okay. They are very retentive. They saw my video. And she says, she says, we could have you written up for harassment on that. On what? She says, did I mention anybody's name? No, but you were implying. I said, well, you must have a guilty conscience because I was just talking about humility and being humble. Oh, well, just watch your step because the lawyer could file a suit against you for that. They can't, but that's what I'm pointing is that I take a story and I share it. Like, you know what happened? I was at the car wash today, or I was at one of these coffee places, and this lady, I won't mention her name, she felt so entitled. She had her big sports car, and she got out. She kept the line waiting for a long time. The barista was taking time. I was on Facebook a little later, and I got this smart says, I said, some people can be so entitled, regardless of their age or their money. They come in with this such and such model car. I'm not going to mention the license plate. And they pull in front of this store in the shopping center, and they go in for this latte. Okay? And so she writes back, well, I wouldn't have been late if the kid actually knew what he was doing. It only takes me a minute at my work to get that. These kids don't know how to make lattes quickly. And I just wrote back and I said, that's a fire parking spot. And if there was a real fire, think about the implications you could have caused and the lives you might have harmed because you were in a spot that was designated for an emergency. I don't have time for this. I got to get back to my job. So that's my point. When you call people on the carpet, You have to do it in a nice way.
This is what I've
And
been
I,
praying about.
what's that?
This is what I've been praying about. This is tact, and I have none, and so I'm learning.
So when somebody aggravates you, okay, I know from many, many years ago, before I spoke for Harvard and before I spoke for Yale, when I was only in grammar school, we'd all get a little bit angry, right? We'd all get annoyed, especially if you were picked on or if they were doing something. And, you know, you now what I know is you should go back and approach them and say, hey, I'm thinking about how I should have responded. Look, I know you're having a bad day. I know you like to be the kingpin of the football team, and that's fantastic. And when I'm around, this is this again, me going back to talking the way I should have talked. I want to let you know how I feel. This is nothing about you. It's about the behavior that's being elicited toward me, and it's making me feel like a little tiny pebble. See, I believe everybody's special. And the person's either going to be like, oh, gee, I'm sorry, or they're going to just avoid you like the plague. So when you have a situation that's gone negative, rethink the situation and think, well, how could I have responded in a more nurturing, or I'll call it deer-like manner? How can I respond? We have people in my play, and they're a little bit, let's say, hard to handle. I'm like, okay, I understand you need me to stay exactly to 10 o'clock, and I would love to do that. And I have an emergency with a client, and I'm sure you know that I put a lot of time in here, and I know you won't mind that I'm leaving 15 minutes early because you know I'm doing a good job already. Now, is there anything else you wanted to share with me? Yeah, we have notes for you. Great. Why don't you email them to me? Do you have my email? You can email them to me. I'll look at them tonight when I get home or tomorrow morning, and I'll make sure I understand them. And if I don't, I'll come and see you first thing. Oh, see, when you take the wind out of people's sails, right? Like if I ask you, what's one thing that you get annoyed? What's your big what annoys you the most?
You want me to answer that, or are you just asking a rhetorical question?
You can ask, you can answer if you. It's totally up to you, and I'll give you a suggestion if you want. You can make it up. Doesn't matter to me.
Idiocracy. Just why? Why do you not just stop it? And you know better.
Okay, okay. So the fact that people just act your age and not your shoe size.
Yeah, just why do you not understand what's right and what's wrong, and just do the right thing? What is
Mhm.
wrong with you?
So I
And
approach it
it's
like
not my problem, and I shouldn't take that personal. But why do I?
right. So when that happens, when somebody causes that, it's a trigger. Okay. I'm also
Mm-hmm.
certified in neurolinguistic programming, and I went and got my
Me too. And I'm just
in
like, it doesn't
hypnosis.
work for me.
So what you do when that situation happens is you can take a TV set, okay? You can put that image on the TV set. It's probably in big full color. What I want you to do is I want you to use your remote control or your knob, and I want you to turn the one contrast level so it goes to black and white, so it's not color. Take the other one and take the horizontal hold and make it go to a line. Take the other one and squish it back in so you have nothing but a dot. Now, take your big mallet right by your side and just smash that TV and just throw that TV way out. And now that shouldn't have much of an effect on you anymore. But if somebody does trigger, you could say, look, I understand that you may not get it, which is okay. I just want to know what it is you don't understand because I'd like to explain it to you. Would that be okay?
Absolutely.
And when you do that, I'm like, yeah, and I know, I just don't want to be okay. So you're actually deliberately being like this to annoy me. Then is that correct? Okay, I just want to be clear. So if that's the case, then I think it's probably best that we don't really talk anymore, huh? And you have to just keep it very light and very flowing,
Yeah.
like deer. You
And
have to just
see,
keep.
I've learned that because just because you're right doesn't mean it comes across right. And
Yes.
I'm learning this about myself because I've always been this person, and I guess I get it from my grandmother that's opinionated, and I'm going to say something and I'm going to call something, but you got to be tactful about it. You can't just say whatever. And so I usually am told that I need to slow down or you go too fast. And I've learned this. I actually have slowed down a lot. But the thing is, it's a passion that I have, and it comes across aggressive, right? And
Yes.
so my
Yes.
husband tells, because my husband is so calm and laid back, but I go, but just because you're not yelling doesn't mean you're not being aggressive. And so, but because I'm yelling, I'm being aggressive. And so what I've learned is, so the other day I had to handle a situation, and he said, see how much you were in control because you never once raised your voice, and they couldn't do anything. They couldn't say anything. They couldn't accuse you of anything because of
Right.
the way you handled that situation. And I'm
So if
like, I'm so
somebody
proud of
starts
me.
out yelling at you, okay, you can't go, okay, now you need to be, you can't do that. Somebody
Yeah.
starts saying, what the heck are you doing? Okay, the reason I'm being so loud at you is because I'm trying to get you to understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Can you understand where I'm going now? See, I normally talk like this, but I had to go up to get to meet your level. So that's the thing.
Yeah.
You have to match them. So you were saying something about I try to remember now. I had a thought. It was about oh, I try to remember now. It was a good one too. It was about the person. I'm trying to think. It came there and it left. It was about you were saying something before. I'm trying to remember now. It was something about what were we talking about? Passion, passion.
Hmm.
So I went to this board because I felt I want to be humble and I want to bury the hatchet. I want to start off clean. I may not be the one that's wrong, but doesn't matter. So I asked for a meeting with this person. There were a few people that kind of accosted me verbally, and one person really was almost making me very unhappy. And they said, "Oh, John, we're really sorry about that." And then after that, I said, "I'd like to have a meeting with you." That, oh yeah, sure, sure. They magically after that they couldn't say no after this person treated me so wrongly. You probably shouldn't deal with her. She's not very tactful. I said, I know. Community outreach person is not tactful. It's a problem. So now I go into this meeting and I bring a whiteboard with me. And I say, I'll call him Mark for argument's sake. I said, Mark, I'm here because I want to apologize. Well, John, you don't need to apologize for anything. Well, I want to. You see, you know that I try to do everything good for everyone. I'm sure you know that. Of course we do. I know. But sometimes I might ruffle some feathers, right? Um, or people might take me as being overzealous. And the truth of the matter is, this happens because I'm passionate, not because I'm trying to undermine authority or I'm trying to cause a problem. But when I see a roadblock, I get passionate and I remove the roadblock. It might not be the way you want it removed, but I just throw the whole roadblock out. I'll have a demolition crew come in and remove it. So I said, we can both agree right now, can't we, that we don't agree on everything. But I think we can both agree that my heart is in the right place, right? Okay, good. And so I brought a little whiteboard with me. Has a whole bunch of numbers on it. I have a eraser. I want to start off clean with you and with the rest of the team. So I'd like to just erase the board. And I'd like to ask you if we could start off with a clean slate. What do you say? And then he says to me, well, you really should come before the board and talk. I say, I should, but I don't want to do that because, see, I'm coming to you. You're going to relay my message. And if I did that, that would look like I was overstepping. And I don't want to do that. See, I don't want to feed an ego. I don't need to feed an ego. Now, I don't need your support, but I would be very grateful for it. And our team would welcome it if you chose to support me. You see, I just don't have time for all the politics. I need to do things for the right reasons. So when I do my commercials, I'm not up here for fame. I'm up here because I'm doing what's right, not because I'm trying to get your vote. And I know that doesn't resonate with anybody too well, but I'm not trying to harm people. But you can't go around saying bad things about me. You can't do that. See, that's not professional. And they just kind of, after that moment, they stopped bothering me. They left me alone. There's still not a whole handshakey there, but they now have a different level of respect, even though they didn't say it. And I even said, I want you to personally apologize this person, this person. And I'm pretty sure my apology got to them because nobody there has bothered me. Well, I went to become a member of something and I needed their approval. I think I told you I'm becoming an EMT. So first thing you have to do is they have to bless you. I said, oh boy, here we go. I go down there, I fill up my paperwork, and there's another lady I'm talking to, and she's very nice, but she's like very this way or that way. It's like got to be yes or no. How are you? Nice to see you. Oh, John, we got your paperwork. Oh, okay. And it's all completed. Oh, she says, and you're all set. Oh, well, thank you. And that was kind of like a blessing because I didn't know what I was doing 6, 7 months ago. But by me doing what I did, I diffused the fact that people might have thought of me as a threat.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I went there and asked for that same permission and they had this like hang up here, no way are we letting him in. No way. But when you diffuse that threat and when you try to work with people, and I bump into people like, this isn't working really well. Oh yeah, we have a hard time. Well, I'm not trying to say bad things about anybody. No. We know what you're going through. It's not me. No, it's not you at all. Our whole team hits heads with that person. Oh, okay. They believe they're right all the time. And like you said, when we're younger, we always want to be right. When I think it was probably after I finished my psychology course for getting my hypnosis certification, I realized that being right is not all that it's cracked up to be. Because if I'm always right, I never learn anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I always start by saying, look, this is what I know, and I believe it to be true, but I may not be right. And if somebody wants to correct me, that's fine. And they're like, oh, no, you're fine. I'm like, okay, just letting you know that, I could be wrong. And so when you put that plausibility that I may be wrong or, just put that humility out there.
Yes.
But if you put it out there with intention to get something, it's going to light you on fire in a bad way. So you have to use humility in a way that is nurturing, is drawing like the deer. It's very watchful, but it's just observing what's going on. And if somebody gets out, even with my parents, if they say something, I've learned, I'm like, okay, I understand you're having a challenge with this. I would probably be frustrated myself. Let's see how we can work together. If you do me a favor, could we just not yell? I would be able to help you a lot better. I know you're not yelling at me. It's because of the situation. So if you wouldn't yell, then I'd be able to talk in a normal voice and we'd be able to hear each other. Can we try that? All right, super. And when you do stuff like that, it causes a symbiosis to happen. And so when they start going off on this thing, I'm like, okay, maybe we probably should do this another time. You've got a lot going on. It sounds like you're frustrated. So why don't you maybe relax, go do something, call me a little later. You seem a little frustrated right now. So why don't you take a little break? And that's what I do. If somebody's trying to push too hard, I'm like, okay, that might not be the right way, or maybe this isn't the best time. Later be a little better, maybe? Yeah, okay, then let's do it tomorrow. It's no problem. So you gotta have those options. You gotta have those choices, right? I had somebody that wanted me to do something for them. I'm always donating things, and this lady wanted me to print something for her. So I printed something for her. I printed several thousand books for her for free. And didn't want anything from it. I just said, hey, we have our ad in there. Could you mention me? She said, oh, John, I can't mention you. Why not? Well, you're not a platinum sponsor. I gave you the books. Yeah, but you're not like ShopRite. You're not like, I said, But are you kidding me? Yeah, I mean, the board won't allow me to do that. But I'll try to sneak you in between coffee. So, oh, well, thank you. Yeah, just a few seconds. So we just want to thank John for printing the books today. Like that was real useful. No company name, no web, no nothing. Like, but thank you, John. We appreciate it. She comes back to me the next year. This is a few years ago. And she's like, "Hey, John, how are you?" I said, "How are you? What can I do for you?" "Listen, I need some things printed." "Okay, great. We'll give you a." "Well, no, it's not for me. It's for the school." "Okay. We're doing a fundraiser." "Okay. What do you need? Like 20, 36?" "Well, we need 1,000." "1,000? Okay. Black and white?" "No, no, color." Regular plain copy paper, okay? 20. "Well, we kind of want that 80-pound cover that you always use." Matte?" "No, no, the gloss." "Okay. Um, so I can give you a good price." "Well, we were kind of hoping to not pay for it
Wow.
because it's for our charity and it's for the kids to raise money." And I'm like, "All right, you know what? I got to get back to you because we're moving into a new facility in a month, and I just got to figure out if all this is going to make sense because we're going to be disconnected for us. So let me get back to you." I thought about it, called her back a week later. I said, "Hey, just reaching out to you. Listen, I want to let you know something truthfully. I'm going to do it for you, but I was going to say no, and I was almost not going to do it. And here's why. You always come around me when you need things, and you never are there when I need things. So I'm going to do these 1,000 flyers, double-sided, the way you want them, color, 80-pound gloss cover, no charge. The only thing I'm asking you to do is to tell others about me because I'm actually giving you the whole thing and I'm losing money." "Oh, yeah, you're going to get so much business." Whatever. I said, "It's okay." I said, "I'm doing it for you. If we get business, great. If I don't get business, please find another printer. Thank you so much for your understanding." She's like, "Oh, there's a lot of them. I can give you yellow pages. I can help you find one." And they don't get it. So when you start to cut off the flow, or you have to be realized because we're all giving people, right? So you have to realize when is giving too much, when is enough, right? You've given 3 free cookies. Well, how many more are you going to keep coming back from? We're giving samples. I mean, like enough's enough, right? And when you do that, I had this happen with another group happen recently, and they said to me, "John, we need you to do this, and we need you." I also own a snack company, like a food company, and she said, "Well, we need you to do this." I said, "Oh, great, I'll give you a price." She says, "Oh, well, we were kind of hoping you would we'll give you a list." I said, "Okay." She said, "We were kind of hoping you'd donate them and we'll let you put up a nice sign." "A sign?" I said, what are we talking?" She said, "Well, we need like 100 bags of this, 100 bags of this, 200 bags. I said, "We're talking probably over $1,500. She says, "Well, whatever we don't sell, we'll get back to you." I said, "Yeah, but how am I?" She said, "Well, you can put a sign up and we'll mention your name." And so she got back to me this week, and I said, "You know what?" I said, "Oh, where's the candy?" I said, "We're not doing that. Remember I told you that?" "Oh, well, okay. I guess we'll have to go to the store and buy some." I guess. I don't know. So you just have to kind of be mindful. And when people start seeing you as being mindful, they don't try to get away with things with you.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's probably the biggest lesson that I've learned is that you have to be mindful, and you've really got to take things in stride. You got to realize, like I told you about the bumps in the road, everything is a bump in the road. You learn from the lesson. You become better from that, right? But what you have to realize is that somebody's actions towards you are not personal. You're really upset, not with the person, but with their behavior. So
Mhm.
I learned this from psychology. Look, I want to talk with you. Oh, what's the problem? What are I doing? I said, "You're doing great. You're a wonderful person. I have some suggestions." What would I do? Nothing. "I think if we changed, what do you want to change?" I said, "I want to change the behavior. I want
Mhm.
to change what's coming out. You're great. You're fine. I just need to change your voice when we're indoors. I
Mhm.
just need to change, you know, um, how you're responding to other people. But you're great. Don't change anything with you. I just want the behaviors to change.
Yes.
Oh, well, I could do that. Yeah. And they don't take it personally then. And so that's really what it is. It's about loving and creating, and people that and the last tip I'm going to run you, because I'm just out of time. I have another at 12:30. There is a person that comes to you, and they ask you for help. But what is it when you can help somebody and then you can't help someone? So when you go to a networking event, a perfect example, and I know because I run a lot of them, but I run them the right way. I tell people, here are our guidelines before you come in. There is no business card flinging in our face. There's no hard selling. And there is a mutual respect for everyone: race, religion, sexual orientation, color, creed, job, politics. There's a no discrimination that we have. We have a non-discrimination clause. And if you do any of those things, we're going to tap you on the shoulder, remind you. If you do them again, we're going to ask you to politely leave. So what we want you to do is do what Dale Carnegie taught, which is how to win friends and influence people. First thing people want to do is they want you to get their darn name right. Say their name properly. If you don't know, oh, you have a beautiful name, but I don't want to botch that up. How do I say that? Oh, can you say it with me? Oh, that's great. That is so wonderful. And now you have to realize that you're not interesting. The other person is. So listen, I know we got to this event today. The chicken's really good, isn't it? Yeah, it's good. I have to ask you, what made you go for the chicken as opposed to the pasta? Or what made you go for the pasta? Oh, my family's Italian. Really? Oh, mine too. Oh, what part of Italy are they from? Or where? Oh, that's great. So now you're getting interested, and then so you can't say to somebody, "Hey, what are you doing for a living? What's your job?" You don't do that. You got to find out. So, what did you like to eat when you were? So, what was important to you when you were a child? What was your favorite Italian food? Oh, I love the tortellini, or I love it. Oh, that's amazing. That's great. What's your most favorite story? When was the first time you had tortellini, and what was that like? Oh, it was on this date, and it's great. And they're talking so say, and you didn't say anything. All of a sudden, like, yeah, John was a great guy. I didn't say anything. All I did was ask some questions. No, he's just so great, but I didn't say anything. So now at the end, once you've done it, well, John, what do you do? Oh, I'm boring. No, well, where was your first pasta? Oh, mine was in Rome. Really? And when did you go to Rome for? So now it kind of goes that you have to become genuinely interested in the other person. If you're not, then you're becoming a gold digger, right? So what I do is I run C-level executive events. The reason I do that is those are the kinds of people that appreciate getting to know others. So I said, you can't bring a C-level executive to an event for $20. So that's the first thing. We raise the prices. But when they get there, they understand that they're not going to be sold to. We promise them, you will not be sold to. If anybody sells to you, come and tell one of us. We will eject them from the event. See, I think this is an ethics and a mentality that everybody's like, well, I want to get 100 people. I don't want 100 people. I'd rather have 25 people there that are genuine. It's not about the number of cards you get. It's about the quality of the people that are behind the business card.
Absolutely. John, I appreciate you taking the time out today and sharing your story. Again, like I said, when we first started talking, you were like, well, that we're going to, nope, I knew it. I knew that it wasn't going to be that. And that's again why I do this, because mindful intentions nurture and drive your business. And nurture is one of the biggest words you kept saying today that really resonates with me. And so before you leave us, I know you got to go.
Yep.
Just tell us how we can learn more from you, how we can maybe work with you, get to these C-level executive events, and just be able to garner more hopeful, grateful information from you.
Well, the first thing I want to tell everybody to do is to adopt an attitude of gratitude right now, and to make a ritual morning and night. And if you tell me you're too busy for that I'm going to tell you that you're full of it. Because if you don't have time to say thank you to whoever it is, creator, to whatever it is, you need to be grateful and have an attitude and adopt that pattern every day, morning and night. If you can't do that, you don't deserve the abundance that is waiting for you. That's number one. Number two, if you want to reach out to me, you can reach out to my link tree. Really, really simple. You just go to link, L-I-N-K, that's linktr.ee/ my name, JOHNCMORLEY, serial entrepreneur, SERIALENTREPRENEUR. If you go there, you'll be able to see over the 100 hours of free video that I produce every single week to help other people become better versions of themselves. And when we have great and big events, you can always check that out. We'll put them there. If anybody is in New Jersey, I'm president of the Franklin Lakes Chamber of Commerce. Our events are at franklinlakeschamber.eventbrite.com. Our next event, we are going axe throwing and eating on March 22nd. So if you're in the metropolitan area, I welcome you to come to events. I know we're all over the globe here, but the most thing I want you to understand is that you're more than you think you are. And you got to start believing that right now, because if you don't, no one else is going to do it for you.
Well, John, I sure appreciate having you on the show. You've sure touched me today. I feel blessed. I'm ready to go and conquer the world right now, because sometimes we just need a little reminder to turn back around, take that deep breath, and keep it moving.
Absolutely.
Check John out. I'm sure you can learn a lot of great things from him. Practice gratitude, adopt that attitude of gratitude. And you might be right, but you might be wrong. But be humble. And
yes, you got it. You got it.
This day, be present.
And watch out for the deer. And when you see them, realize that you might be resonating. If you see a deer, don't be afraid of them. But
don't be afraid of the deer.
Be mindful of the deer, and you'll be repaid.
Absolutely. The deer.
All right, everyone, take care. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. God bless. And remember, you were created with a purpose.
You as well. Thank you so much. God bless you. Take care.
Bye-bye.